What if the man you married still whispers the name of another woman when he thinks no one's listening? The glitz, the glamour, the carefully curated smiles, what lies beneath them may shock you. When Song Joong-ki's wife finally broke her silence, her voice trembled, her eyes welled up, and her words shattered the illusion. He still loves Song Hye Kyo. What really happened behind closed doors? Let's uncover the heartbreaking truth, right now. With red carpet revealed, there's a name he never says, but I can feel it in the silence. It was meant to be a fairy tale. A new beginning, a love untouched by the shadows of the past. But beneath the polished smiles and perfectly framed moments, something darker has been brewing, a quiet sorrow. A truth too painful to hide forever. And now, that truth has been spoken aloud. In a revelation as raw as it is haunting. Song Joong-ki's wife has broken her silence, not with bitterness. Not with anger, but with tears. Her words, barely above a whisper, now echo like a scream across the corridors of fame. He still loves Song Hye Kyo, the calm before the collapse. Until recently, the public saw nothing but grace. The couple made their appearances hand in hand, radiating elegance and effortless chemistry. Fashion spreads, film premieres, gala events, they seemed impenetrable. But there were signs, subtle, fleeting. Her glance at him during interviews, almost searching, his occasional stillness, as if his mind had wandered someplace unreachable. Behind the glamour, the smile she wore had begun to crack. And what it revealed beneath was not anger, but exhaustion. Sadness, quiet resignation, a confession no one saw coming. The setting of the confession was not dramatic. No stage, no lights, just a dim room, a quiet voice recorder, and a woman who had finally grown too tired of pretending. He doesn't talk about her, but I've lived with him long enough to know what silence means. She began, her voice trembled, but her eyes held steady. When a man looks at you and sees someone else, you feel it. There was no need to name the someone else. Everyone knew. I found her photo, hidden in a drawer he never opens. It wasn't just a memory. It was something he kept safe. Like it still mattered. The air in the room changed. Even the interviewer remained still, as if movement would shatter the moment. Then, finally, she said it. He still loves Song Hye Kyo. He never truly stopped. A past that refuses to fade. To understand the weight of those words, one must revisit the legacy of what once was. The golden love story of Song Joong-ki and Song Hye Kyo. Born on the set of Descendants of the Sun, their chemistry lit up millions of screens and crossed borders with ease. Their wedding in 2017 wasn't just a union, it was a spectacle. Celebrated across Asia as the real-life culmination of a beloved on-screen romance. But the fairy tale cracked. In 2019, without much warning, the two parted ways. No scandal, no war of words, just silence. The world moved on, or so it thought, living with a ghost. Some nights, he looks at the window and zones out. His wife continued, her voice lowering. I used to ask what he was thinking. He never answered. Eventually, I stopped asking. She didn't speak with hatred. There was no venom in her tone. Only hurt. Deep, abiding hurt. The kind that comes from realizing your love might always come second to a memory. I know he cares for me. But there's a part of him I'll never reach. Because it belongs to her. Still, the admission landed like thunder. Not just because it exposed a hidden emotional fracture, but because it hinted at something ongoing. Something unresolved. Not nostalgia, not regret, but active, persistent love. A carefully constructed illusion. Behind closed doors, insiders had already begun whispering. Production staff noted Joong-ki's changes in mood when old co-stars were mentioned. Makeup artists recalled brief moments of stillness during fittings. Moments that felt emotionally heavy without explanation. There was a name unspoken in interviews. A chapter left untouched. And now, it makes sense. He's a good man, his wife said. Trying, perhaps too hard, to be fair. But love isn't something you can fake forever. What happens when the person you love never truly let go of someone else? What happens when you realize you were not the new beginning, just the afterward? That is the heartbreak Song Joong-ki's wife now carries. One she has chosen to share. Not to destroy, but to finally be seen. I'm not asking him to forget her. She concluded, eyes glistening. I just want to know if I was ever really chosen. In the aftermath of the emotional confession that now dominates headlines across Asia, one question echoes louder than any other. Where is Song Joong-ki? Sources close to his agency report that the actor has abruptly postponed 2 upcoming events, including a press conference for his latest film and a brand shoot scheduled in Seoul. According to one anonymous staffer, he's unreachable. No one's seen him at the office. Even his manager says he's been told to stay low. Multiple entertainment journalists have speculated that Song Joong-ki is currently abroad, possibly in Italy, where he has previously spent extended time following his marriage. But none of this has been confirmed. There is no post on Instagram. No cryptic story. No company announcement. Nothing. The weight of silence. His wife's confession, that her husband still harbors deep feelings for his ex-wife, Song Hye Kyo, stunned even those closest to the couple. And yet, rather than defend himself or his marriage, Joong-ki has chosen complete withdrawal. For someone who has spent years cultivating a composed, honorable public image, the decision to vanish rather than speak is telling. Some believe it's a PR strategy, to let the storm pass. Others say it may be something far more personal. One industry insider commented, Joong-ki's always been careful. But this is different. This isn't a rumor. It's his wife's voice. Her tears. You can't just walk past that. Avoidance or reflection? If he truly is overseas, away from the chaos now engulfing Seoul's entertainment circles, the question becomes, what is he doing there? One source close to the family, who spoke under strict anonymity, shared that Joong-ki had looked deeply shaken in the days leading up to the confession. He knew something was coming. She'd been distant. He tried to reach out. But I think part of him already knew she wasn't going to stay quiet forever. Was his departure a retreat from confrontation, or a moment of private reckoning? Is he escaping judgment, or facing his own guilt? The echoes of a love not let go. The problem with past love is that it doesn't always stay in the past. In his wife's words, I know he cares for me, but caring is not the same as choosing. I was the next chapter, not the ending. That single line has sparked thousands of think pieces, countless debates, and a growing curiosity. What would Song Hye Kyo say if she were asked now? She, too, has remained quiet, perhaps by choice, perhaps out of grace, or perhaps because she knows better than anyone how painful unfinished love can be. Unanswered questions. Song Joong-ki's absence feels less like avoidance and more like suspense, the kind that holds its breath right before a final verdict. He isn't hiding in shame. He isn't countering the narrative. He isn't even asking for forgiveness. He's simply not there. And in that silence, the questions grow louder. Is he preparing a response that will change everything? Is he torn between 2 loves, one he has and one he lost? Has he realized, too late, that some wounds never fully heal? No closure, just waiting. For now, the world watches. His fans wait. The industry speculates. And the woman who once believed she was his future is left navigating a storm without him by her side. Song Joong-ki has built a career on emotional nuance, portraying men who carry pain beneath the surface, who love deeply but speak softly. Perhaps, this time, art has mirrored life too closely. Because when words are expected and none arrive, sometimes silence becomes the loudest confession of all.